With this note, I'll introduce our speaker for important talk on research and publication ethics, plagiarism detection and prevention by Dr. Sushil Kumar. Dr. Sushil Kumar is a Deputy Dean in Journals and Publication in Chitkara University Publication, Chandigarh. Sir has done MSc in Nucleophysics from IIT Roorkee and PhD from Punjab University, Chandigarh, and is the founding editor of Journal of Nucleophysics Material Sciences Radiation Application since 2013. Sir has established the Open Journal System platform for Chutkara University and has organized several national and international conferences. And a lot of interesting facts about Sir is that he is a very active blogger at the apniphysics.com website, and definitely everyone should check it. And he's also has a YouTube channel with the name of Dr. Sushil Kumar, Master of Physics, and with a lot of knowledgeable stuff on research publications. He is a strong supporter of open access and is also a cross-strait ambassador in Asia-India region. He is also a member of European Association of Science Editors UK, with citation more than 200, H index 7, I-10 index of 6. Sir, thank you for accepting our invitation for talk and repeating the format for the audience. The talk will be of 45 minutes, followed by Q&A session of 15 minutes. All the questions will be taken after the talk. Meanwhile, you can write the question in the chat box. With warm regards, I hand over to you, sir.
Thank you so much, Dr. Anil, sir, and all the team. IMBSS, Integrated Association of Medical Basic and Social Sciences, to provide me this opportunity to interact with you all, young as well as experienced researchers. So, as you mentioned some point about to me, let me introduce myself here a little more. With the help of these activities of the publications. So in this presentation, actually, I will try to cover, or you can say, will focus some light on the open access publishing research misconduct. I will focus only on the plagiarism. And if time allows me, then I will share some research article based what is the SEO, search engine optimization, how to optimize the research article. And this point in a today digital world is very important, because rarely researchers basically talks about it. So first of all, I will cover some basic point about to the open access publishing, because nowadays everyone is talking about to the open access. So what is the open access, and what is the basically open access publishing? So the criteria actually is defined by many association, and one of them is the Budapest Open Access Initiative, that is called BOAI. And after the introduction of it, then I will cover some information about to the copyright and licenses. Type of the open access journal, it remains a very curiosity in the researchers, that what type of the open access journals are. Sometimes what happens that they submit the article into the open access journal, but when the article get accepted, they ask about to the money. So this kind of confusion basically remains in general. So that thing I will try to cover into the types of open access journal, and what are the open access societies, directories, and important thing is related to the Plan S. What is the Plan S and their journal checker tool? So here, first of all, Budapest Open Access Initiative, that was basically conducted into the conference at the time of 2002 at Budapest, Hungary, Germany, Budapest, Hungary. So there were actually 2 points they discussed. First point was related to the open access, and second point was related to the self-archive. So in the first section, they defined that initiative of the open access, what should be the criteria of the open access. So there are 2 things that they mentioned, that all the into the open access journal, all copyright should go to the authors. And second thing, the article, basically the content, should be published with the CC BY license. So if you are not aware about to the CC BY license that provided by the Creative Commons, so that information I will provide you into the next slide. There are 6 licenses of the open access. So what type of open access journal is that, and what the right that journal is giving to you. And second point was related to the article preservation. So this point is very important. Suppose one publisher start a journal and you submit the article and that accepted. What about 5 years later? A journal is surviving or not? So if journal is not surviving, then what about your article? From where you will find it? So they mention all the open access journal will preserve the article, and these are the name of the preservatories: Cloaks, Lokes, PKPPN, and Potrico. On the other hand, they said that there should be a self-archive. These self-archive actually are preprint archives, and importance of these are nowadays very much, because when you submit the article with an effective idea in a journal, so sometimes it might be that editor or the reviewer don't follow the ethics, and he basically start their work on that particular specific idea that was very important. So people started basically publish their article into the preprint archive. So here in India, India archive.org, Africa archive.org, and similarly bioRxiv. If you will see the archive.org, they had mentioned different archive. So if you want to go into the detail, you just type the archive, ARXIV, and you will get number of the information. But the point is, you have to submit your preprint article into the authentic websites, authentic repositories, not in all, right? So this is very important point related to the open access. And the second point is related to the rights. What are your rights? You have to understand it. Actually, it was defined in 1957 Copyright Act. And this is section 14. And in section 14, you can see that they mention some point, and these copyrights actually defined for the 3 categories, basically. One is the those who are involved into the literary work. Second, those who are in dramatic or film industry. Third one, those who are associated with the musical work. So for these 3 category of the people, those who are creating the content, what are their rights actually? So in the Copyright Act 1957, all these points actually they mentioned, and there was an amendment which is known as here in subsection 3, known by the 7 number. So it was implemented in 1995. So overall there are 7. So these are the rights basically of a creator, whether you are creating a literary work or a drama or a story or a music or a film, whatever. Basically, you basically have these rights. But what we people are doing basically, if you when you are submitting the article and it get accepted, at the end, most of the journal ask you to transfer the copyright. So basically, being a researcher, what you are doing, you are transferring all these rights to the editor, to the publisher. And now you had created the content, and with free of cost, you provided all your hard work to the journal. So get this point clearly, what I mean, don't try to misinterpret it. And the thing is now into this slide is about to the license. So here in the first slide, you have seen that I had mentioned CC BY license. So into the open access journal, they mention the license should be CC BY. So what is it means? It means that the people or the reader or the anyone or the other creators basically can use your content, right? They can basically modify that. They can remix into that everything without any constraint. right? So CC BY license actually provide all the freedoms to the knowledge society. So there is no constraint. You don't need to ask the editor or the author to take their content from a published article. But the important thing here is that when the article is publishing with the CC BY license, and you are either taking the idea or you are taking the content from there, any illustrative basically content, my main is to that. So then that time it is very important whether you are taking the idea, you are taking the illustrative content, or the idea and text from the CC BY published article. You basically, this is your courtesy that you provide, you give the credits to the that particular creator, whether that is a researcher or a musician or a filmmaker, whoever so. So CC BY license basically provide all the freedoms, right, to the knowledge society. And because of that, the knowledge, those who are basically living in an intellectual platform and accept the knowledge society, they basically accept all these things. But rather some open access journal give other license to their content, and they put some restrictions with the CC BY NC that you cannot create the content for the commercial purpose. NC means non-commercial. ND means non-derivative. SA similar alike, right? And then after the combination of these uh, licenses, right? So if you want to get more information about to the licenses, and it is important, it is must for all the researchers that you should be familiar with the copyright and with the licenses. So here in this slide, actually, everyone right now, those who are watching and listening about to this slide is researcher, right? A researcher means when you do something, so you spend at least 6 months or more than 6 months on a specific objective. And when you basically submit the article and it get accepted, then what we are doing, we are just transfer all the rights to the editors, to the publisher, to the journal. So this is a checkpoint just for the sake of information that we did so much hard work for that particular knowledge, for that particular information. And now what we are doing, we are just putting that idea, putting that information behind the wall. We are not providing the access of that information to each and every people. So our purpose should be that whatever we are doing, that information should be available to each and everyone. So because of that, the knowledge society basically could grow. And now the question about to the type of the open access journal. This is very important point, as I had discussed in the beginning. That point was related to the hybrid mix open access journal. What happens with the hybrid open access journal? They actually, hybrid journal means they are open access journal as well as they are subscription based journal. Some article they published as open access and some article behind the paywall. When you submit your article, they ask you whether you are interested to publish it as a open access or as a subscription based. So what happens in general, that people are not aware about all these things and they tick the open access, and there are some charges, right? Article processing or academic processing charges for that. And because you had ticked that point, and now when your paper get accepted, so editor asks you about to that fees. So in the hybrid type of journal, this is the criteria. And what is the golden open access journal? In the gold open access journal, there is a criteria of article processing charges, and they restrict their content with some kind of licenses. There is no CC BY license. Remember, I had mentioned there this type of licenses. So in CC BY license, actually, a reader or anyone, right, where the information basically reach, the person basically can use in any form the information. But when the license is not CC BY, then there are some restrictions that you have to note. But APC means article processing charges. So in gold open access journals, what is their criteria? Their criteria especially is they are taking some article processing charge, as well as they constrain some condition on the content. Second thing is green open access journal. They are not taking article processing charges, but together they are also not providing CC BY license. So no article processing charge, no CC BY license. So they are putting the content behind a wall. So everyone basically, suppose I am interested to read that particular article, but that article published into the green open access journal. So green open access journal don't give the access directly. They are put some restrictions. They take some charges to read that information. Bronze, they are readable, you can read, but there are some conditions of the license. And what are the platinum open access journal? Platinum open access journal or diamond open access journal are those journal, basically there are no fees, and they publish all the article with the CC BY license. And black open access journal, you know, the open source basically that are available on the websites, different websites like Wikipedia and a specific website from the people basically find out the research article. And why we are listening about to the open access journal frequently in the last 2-3 years. The reason is behind to that the coalition as of the European Commission agencies, European funding agencies, and the group of the funding agencies, right? So they get together and they basically put some conditions. And what are those conditions? They mention actually that if any researcher takes the grant from them, they had to publish their article into the open access journal only, and that journal should be platinum open access journal, right? So from the 2021, this rule has been implemented, and because of that, all the subscription-based journal are moving towards the open access journal, towards the platinum open access journal. So there is a basically now the problem is that how basically the publisher can survive if they are not taking the article processing charges. So how basically they will generate the income for their employee. So that kind of discussion basically is running on. So still people basically not following CC BY license, but they are putting some other licenses, and they are taking article processing charges. So those journal basically are switched. Earlier these journal were subscription based journal, but now these journal are gold open access journal as well as green open access journal, hybrid open access journal. So this kind of trend is moving nowadays. And according to the plan S, they are saying that if you are taking the funds from us, there is no basically restrictions to publish into the good impact factor journal. The journal should be of quality, that should follow some criteria, right? And that criteria basically fulfilled by their tool. They develop a tool here. These are the 10 points according to the plan S, but into the 10th number point, they mentioned clearly the funder commit that when assessing research outputs during funding decision, they will value the intrinsic merit of the work and not consider the publication channel, its impact factor for other journal matrices or the publisher name. So there is a 2 point. One is the impact factor and second is the publisher. And into the bracket they mention matrices. That means H index, I index, and other things. So they are saying according to the plan S, there are some European funding agencies and world moving towards that, following that plan S, and according to that, they basically they have put some conditions on the funding that they have to publish their article into the open access journal only. So this is the journal checker tool, which you can find out from here. This is the web link, journal checker tool. So there are three boxes. One is the with the name, second is the funder name, what is the agency, and third is the institution name of the fundee. If these three basically, first of all, they will this tool will check the comparison between the journal and the funding agency. What are their policy for the submitted article, for the published article, or for the accepted article, right? So these two boxes are important, and then after the third one. So according to that, they basically, this tool define that this combination compliant or not. And here, this is the declaration of research assessment. Declaration of research. So if Plan S is saying that you are not required to publish the article in that journal which have impact factor or which have H index, so where you have to publish the article? In general, everybody knows about it, that impact factor is the a value, numerical value of the journal, not of the individual research article. So if you have to assess the individual research article in a journal, so what should be the criteria of that? So there is no criteria right now. So declaration on research assessment, DORA, basically is trying to find out those components by which individual research article basically can assess because of that quality. So now the quality is important irrespective to the quantity and other matrices or the numerical values. So here in our Chitkara University publication, we are publishing 9 open access journal, and all 9 open access journals are, you can see here the condition, no APC and with CC by license. So what type of the journal it will be? Diamond open access journal or platinum open access journal. So we are publishing platinum. We are platinum open access journal publisher. So here we had started our journey in 2013, and right now in 2019 we became the COP member, and in 2021 recently we are the member of the United Nations following the SDG, and we recently signed the SDG Publisher Compact. And together I became the member of the EASE, and following all the possibilities where we can basically come into the picture of the world. So in 2022, my plan is that we apply for the Web of Science and Scopus. For the out of 9, there are some journals are performing very well, and some journals are not basically of that pace that compete the Scopus or Web of Science competition. So now from here, we start our journey of this today lecture. And here I have put some point by taking the SciMagoJR website. And from this data, I want to put a picture in your mind that what is the scenario of the India at present time. If you see, this is the year 2009, 10, 11, 12, 13, and then after rank of the country. So here you can see the rank. Document, how many documents we had published into that particular year, and citable document, you can see that how many citations are, and right. So then after I calculate the difference between the published document and the citable documents. So the difference, how many articles basically which could not cite into the journal. Then after overall citations, then self-citation, and the difference between the overall citation and the self-citation into this column. Citation per document and the H index. H index remain in general constant because when you are saying H index 691, so you can imagine the number of articles which get published. So at least 692 or 693 or 700 article have the 700 citations. So you can observe the situation of the India. And here I will basically put a picture in your mind of the present situation of the researchers. So here in the 2009, the number of the article was only 69,000, but the citable document was were 64,000. In 2013, you can see the rank of the India has been changed, because in 2010 there was a academic policy into the UGC for the promotion and to get the appointment and API, and then after the scenario has been changed, and now suddenly publication getting increased. And just focus this point also, that these are the published document, how many documents India is publishing and how many documents basically are getting citation. So with the passage of time, you are observing there's obviously the number. Hello. Yeah. Any point, sir? Okay. So in 2013, you can see that there are this 1,17,000 paper, and citable document you can see here 1,08,000. And now ranking is improving in terms of the publication and other things of the India. But when you see the total number of the publication and how many articles basically are getting cited, so that is the worry for the people, those who are researchers, that why this thing is happening, that we are publishing article, but why our article are not getting citation. So if you see here, right again, the citation and self-citation. Earlier days in 2009, the citation were this number 1245855 and correspond self-citation. In earlier days, actually, you can observe that citation and self-citation were increasing, and here up to the 2014, you can see here the along with the citation, these are the citation on the articles we published, India published, right, and the self-citation in this particular column. So these self-citation were increasing up to the 2014, but later after 2014, what happened? The number of documents is still increasing, and together these cited documents and the difference of that. And here you can see the in this column citations and these self-citation. So here not only citations are decreasing of our articles as compared into the beginning of 2009, but self-citation also are decreasing. So this is a question mark actually. Why the self-citation are decreasing, why the citation are decreasing. And together, if you see here citation per document at that time in 2009, and if you see after 10 years in 2019, you can see the difference. This is approximately 18, and here at 2020, you can see citation per document is 0.76. And in 2021, if this is the trend, you can imagine that how many articles basically are getting cited. So our one article is not citing at present time. You can imagine here, cite from this data. So from this data, you can observe the quality of the research article. Why our articles are not cited? Why we are not using this our own citations? So this basically raise the question. So who are publishing documents? Who are those people actually? Those are publishing the research articles which are basically indexed in a good journal. Those have impact factor, but those articles are not getting citation. So what they are publishing, right? What is their content? Why people are not citable? Who are those authors not citing their own existed work? This is also because our self-citation are decreasing. This is true that we should avoid self-citation, but 1 or 2 citation or 3 citation are acceptable. So if we are not citing our old existed work, so what is the reason? So are we? So here in this section, basically I put some points, so you get when you write the article, so you get some insight from here about this observation. that most of the this phase from the 2014, because this was must to get for the placement, for the appointment, for the promotion, PhD was required. So from 2014, people distributed the PhD degree to each and everyone. Now those people, what they are doing, who basically, I'm not criticizing, but I'm just pointing out the data, what are the cause of that, and how basically we are approaching, and while we are looking towards all these factors, what are the requirement of that. So they are basically categories of the researchers. You should understand there is one big institute of the India. They know about to the problem. They have all the facilities. They know about to the research problem from their traditional research work. They provide the information to the their research scholars. They just involve into the specific problem. So outcome obvious will be specific. Outcome will be outcome will have some impact. But now the second generation, those came from there, they just uh, for the survivalness, they just started their work. For some years they put some scholars, and then they complete their time. Right now, the third generation, those basically were trained from the second generation. The third generation will have very limited exposure of the researcher, and they appoint into the local surroundings and here and there, and but they have to survive. They have to appoint, and because of that, and follow the all academic uh, criteria. So they put some researchers, and now they don't have enough research work. They just publish a piece of the research work only. There is no continuation of the research, so they can basically tell something about to their research, that this kind of research they did. Today they are publishing this research article. After 6 months they will publish a different article, and next 3 months they will publish a multidisciplinary article. So they are basically confused, and what they are doing, they are basically destroying research. These words which I am using may hurt someone, those who are not fulfilling the research ethics criteria. But this is the real situation at present of the India, and most of the people actually are following research blindly without thinking long-term perspective of the research. And because of that, in India, you are looking here, right, 0.76 citation per document. Just imagine one in 2009. It was approximately 18, and in 2020 it is 0.76. So where we are going, what are the reason of that? So all those things, all those parameters we have to consider, and there are many things. So basically we have to observe here. One thing I want to include, that which article you have to publish. You have to involve into the regular research article, because regular research article get the citation. Not this is, I'm not saying that review article, editorial note, book reviews are not getting citation, but for the impact factor calculation, it is must that only for the article citation will count, right? So only the article citation will count for the impact factor, right? So those who are calculating the impact factor, they just see the citation of only the regular research article. But in general, we know that maximum citation get the reviews article, right? So when we will discuss about to the impact factor and H index, then that time we can discuss all these things. But in general, my suggestion to all of you, that please don't follow the review article in early stage of your research career. Just follow the regular research article techniques, right? Or instead of writing the this review article, just write the bibliometric studies, right? Publish the scientometric article of your research area. That will be far better as compared to you follow 10 reviews, 10 articles, and you write a survey type of article, and you so-called the review article. That is not true. Basically, we have to follow the proper procedure of the research. And in the research misconduct, there are two things. One is the PubPeer and second is the retraction watch. So in the misconduct, actually research misconduct is what? Most of the time young researchers think that if there is no plagiarism in their article and article get published into a normal journal which have some index or which have some impact factor, then okay, that's fine. But they forget there are some agency which are looking the post publication uh, uh, basically a kind of review, and that if you had published the article and it comes into the knowledge of some people that there are some points which are not suitable for the science, for the research, then they start to review it again. And you can see all this information at the PubPeer. Just visit this website pubpeer.com, and here you will get number of the article which has been retracted because the people are following the criteria to make the science pure, right? Because of that, people are trying to find out the exact science, exact uh, picture, images. What in the there are some areas where basically people try to manipulate the images as well as data. So here at PubPeer, you can see the number of article which has been retracted or are under the post publication review process. There is one more website where you can see the retracted articles. So in this phase, or in these last 2 years, or when the pandemic is going on about to the COVID, so more than 106 article of the reputed researcher has been retracted, and 12 article here you will see that retracted due to the journal editor. These were the duplicate articles, 12 articles related to the COVID-19. Most of the people think that let's start to write something about to the COVID-19. So now you have to think, if suppose nowadays people, those who are of the primary stage, they think they can write easily about to the COVID. But in the future, this is not the research area. So how you will write in future, how you will cite your article after 10 years, who will cite your article? Right? That is not related to the regular research. If you want to involve into the COVID, then go to the research of the COVID. So you can find out some output related to the problem. Don't follow the statistics or the reviews of this COVID directly. So here the third phase comes, and I have put some foundation about to the research and the points, and now about to the plagiarism. Because of that, I am here in front to you. So what information I will provide you, and how I will provide you, and what will be the solution of that, right? How to avoid, why do you need to avoid the plagiarism in your research article? If you are a regular researcher, if you are authentic, if you are a genuine, why you are thinking about to the plagiarism? Why you are worried about to the similarity index, right? Because the tradition has been started about to all these things. There are people who basically spoil the sciences, and because of that we are facing the problem. But together I will show you some example, and with those example, with the help of those example, you will observe the fact. This is first example, and in this example I have taken the screenshot of a specific section where you can observe that plagiarism software provide me information that this part of this paragraph is taken from the this source, and source is 6. So when I approach the software suggestion, I reach here and observe that at 6 point source is cclac.org website, and it is taken from the internet, right? But on the other hand, when I see here a reference which was given by the author, right? So there are two things. One is this idea or this content, because there is no quoted mark. So this idea or this, right? So this idea basically the author had written, studied from this article, right? This is the meaning of this text because it is not in inverted commas. So it means that the article, the paragraph is written in a flow. That means the author itself pointing out the idea which he had basically learned from that particular article. So he mentioned Wang et al. 2015, but software mentioned this is taken from the internet source, and that source is this one. So these are 2 points, and here you can see that article, when you will read about to the article which was mentioned by the author, so it was related to the particulate matter, right, environmental pollution. So here Wang Xi and this 2015, and this detail is available into the reference. So you can read all about to the this thing. Characteristic and toxicity assessment of airborne particulate polycyclic aromatic hydrocarbons of 4 background sites in China. And here in this side, you can see where we had basically observed this kind of similarity. So they are talking about to the joint FAO WHO expert committee on food. So there is no reference of the particulate matter which we had observed into this particular reference, and it was mentioned by the author itself. And now see the software suggestion. Software suggests this website, and here this website basically is related to the Energizer, right? So zinc, arginine, all these things. What is the basically purpose to mention all these things there, right? So now at this point, I want to say that software not always speak the truth, right? So both are non-relevant references. Software is suggesting the different, and author is suggesting different. So it is the point of understanding that why it is happening when we observe it manually. So I found this is the WHO website, and here you can read all these things. Joint FAO WHO expert committee on food, all these things are written here on the website. So these are the things which one have to notice, and here you can see into the introduction. Just see all the lines. Basically this is the green, this. So what is it means? So now when the editor observe this kind of reflection on the article, he basically get confused that, and then after without observing the facts, he basically reject the article on the desk. And I will see some more example, but before that I will highlight some point related to the similarity index. There is some criteria actually that editor or the journal defines, that which article basically they will accept or which article they will reject on the desk, or right. So that, what is that point? So before I go into that detail, I put another example here. So here you see in the abstract, the information is taken from this and student paper. The student paper means those who are related into the postgraduate classes or in the early phases, and submit it for the as a project report. So just imagine the person, the author basically is from a reputed university, and just taken the content directly from the website. We people get surprised when we see this kind of behavior, right? So you have to notice all these points with the real example. So when the editor observe this kind of picture, so immediately they reject the article, right? So here you can see the point that one thing you should remember, that in the abstract is yours, right? Abstract is related to your output, what methodology you had used, what the approach you had used, what you are concluding, what is your objective. So in those 250 words, how you can copy the idea of someone else? If you are working on a specific problem, on whether that is a review article, so you know everything about to that. So how you can write the other information into the abstract? You should be very clear that in the beginning you will put some foundation about to the objective, then how you are getting the objective, and then what approaches you had used, and the outcome of the result and the future perspective. So these are the four things which you had to write in your abstract, and it comes into easily in 250 words, right? So you have to basically observe all these things. And now you can see from the individual source, from this one, the second source, basically internet source, they are taking 18%, and from here 2%, and again this is this from the second source. So you can imagine, and just see the output of the similarity index report. So here similarity index is 95%. Just imagine if a person that is associated with the university or any college, if submit this kind of article, so what the reflection goes. So this kind of reflection basically gives me a input that because of that reason, the earlier the SciMago JR website data that I had shown to you is because of these people, right? Somehow they, by hook and crook, they publish in a conference proceeding that is basically index, and that index article, that index journal or proceeding basically goes to the Scopus, and the article basically recorded there, and they count that article. So this kind of problem actually we are facing, and we have to understand all these points. So when we are doing the research, so here this is the latest example, and you people will get surprised. The person is the you can see itself. This is go through it, and I will show you that. Just read the abstract. Here written, we have achieved a simple empirical formula for incoherent scattering cross section. This I have taken from the physics journal, and 1 Z100, 1 kilo electron volt E, 1 giga electron volt, all these things. Here they had written plus minus 3%. When this article came to me, and when we basically checked the plagiarism of it, so it is our responsibility. And when I had checked it, so there are our only coherent and this plus minus 5%. The rest of the thing, if you will read, 1 kilo electron volt, 100 giga electron volt, and these are those people who are publishing good articles. And what is this approach? This approach is to show the quantity of the article in their account. So in general, there is a criteria that if the similar here OSI, that means overall similarity index, SMSI, single match similarity index. So in overall is similarity index, you can observe all these things, right? So here overall is similarity index, if is greater than 40%, they immediately reject the article. But if it lies between 25% to 40%, and single match similarity index is between 3% to 10%, then moderate journal basically asks the author that you just improve your article and then resubmit, right? And the good journal basically at this stage again reject on the that you call desk rejection. So this is the criteria to reject the article. So you have to be very careful. And what are those points? What are those tricks by which you can avoid? I am basically pointing each and every slide all these points. And here the case of salami slicing. If you have to publish the article, or if you have a problem that is basically cover in one research article, then why do you need to publish 3 articles? So when you will publish second article, you have to basically use your methodology similar again into that article, and obviously into the third paper. So here, if you are approaching this kind of practice, so then what you should do? You should basically approach very clear, that you should mention that I have studied this thing in this particular article that right, which published to give the citation of that, mention that, tell about to the editor that you had already published this extension of this work, and now in this article you will basically inform, or you will explain all these things, and methodology basically are explained into the earlier article. So you don't require to put everything into the second article. You have to put only that thing, that information which is important. But the early stage researchers are not aware about to this thing, and what they do, they just put all the methodology, all these things into the second paper also. And because of that, you will observe the similarity index, you will observe the plagiarism, and you basically can face the outcome of these things. So my suggestion that if you are thinking that you have to publish your article into 2-3 articles, then be very careful and read about to it, that what is the meaning of it and how harmful basically this approach. This is taken from the Elsevier, and they are asking, is it unethical? Yes, it is unethical. Please don't dilute your research. And in all these observation of the real example of what basically plagiarism shows in introduction. If all similarity index basically observe into the introduction, it means author is not aware about to the foundation of their research, right? He or she is not aware what basically was going on in the research area. So if you have to write the introduction, how you will write the introduction? You are aware that this is your research area, and in this research area, these are the popular authors, and these popular authors written these articles. So first of all, you will write the oldest article. Then after, what the successive approach basically carried out in that particular research area, you will write the next year. Suppose it was started in 60s, then write the 90s, use the 90 citation. Then after 2020, like this. So follow this kind of approach, so you can provide the systematic approach to the editor as well as to the reader. So they make their mind that this is the progress. This kind of basically is the foundation of the research article, and then start your methodology. What plagiarism report says? The plagiarism says only that you give the credit to the original source. Original source means that is the first source. You should be, first thing is that you should be very clear. You should be very alert about your field, that who are the expert in your research area. If you are aware about to that thing, then there is no problem about to the similarity index. You will put the original source, you will quote the exact point. There will be no this kind of similarity or plagiarism problem you will face, right? So there are many things that is related to the software of the plagiarism software. Many times people think that if they will paraphrasing, so software will not catch them. This is true, that software sometimes cannot catch when you will use the paraphrasing by using the dictionary words or synonyms like that. There is no harm to use the paraphrasing, but you should use your own words when you do this kind of practice, right? And when you are doing this kind of practice, at that time also you have to give the credits to that person, right? So these are the points which you have to keep in your mind. If you are doing the paraphrasing, there is an editor, associate editor, they are reading your article, right? If there is no plagiarism similarity index, they will surprise that how basically it can be happen. They will read your article, they will read your abstract, they will read conclusion, and then they will follow the procedure and introduction later at later stage. First of all, they will read abstract, then conclusion, then they will come on result analysis and methodology. So these are the approaches by which they immediately, those people actually are working in that particular area. So though these people are aware about to the field. So there are some points basically by which you can avoid this similarity index or plagiarism. First of all, the first and important point, that don't forget to give the credits to the original source. Always use the relevant references. Don't follow the copy paste approach, right? Most of the time people, what they do, they just read one paper and get inspired or feel that this is important article, I will quote this one. Or they when they are writing the article, they put there number of the articles in their folder, and from one article they just copy paste the references, and they face this kind of problem. And note down every information and source from a research article that you read in your own words. Suppose you are reading an article in the evening at your home, so just note down that this is the article written by this author about to this title, about to this area, right? And just read the conclusion. Don't read everything, right? Don't read the introduction, everything and methodology. First of all, read the conclusion, then come on to the abstract. And now see that how basically if you are interested to explore that area, then follow the approach from the introduction, follow the approach of their research methodology. And if you are not interested to explore that area, why you are going to read everything? So just read their discussion, their results, their pictures that they have provided, how they basically they are explaining the things. So conclusion, abstract, and this analysis is important for the researcher to cite a article. But if you want to explore the article, then read everything and go through for every point. And most of the time researcher and the primary stage, what they do, they just read the article by this, oh, this reference is mentioning, let's open this article from the website. And now they will start to read that article. From there, they will start to third article, and by this way they basically not only waste the time, they get distracted from the original point. So don't practice of paraphrasing. It can change the meaning of actual science. Actually here the point is, paraphrasing is not unethical. It is okay that you are writing the content in your own language, but you can write the content in your own language when you had written studied the article in a proper way. And next thing is collect and list authentic related research work paper. Don't follow the lower category journal. Always read high quality article, and in high quality articles you will get only the original source. Otherwise what will happen, the researcher who are most experienced than you, you will mostly read their article, right? So it may be you suppose you are the fourth generation, you are reading the article of the third generation, you have to read article of the first and second generation, then you will approach the second one, third one, right? So by this way, and this is one of the important point in your text editor, don't copy paste from the web page immediately. Suppose you select a content like this from this website and just post into the your text editor. So this is again create a problem that creates sometimes hyperlink. So in terms of the next point, if you had published part of the current research elsewhere, mention it that is related to salami slicing. So this point, don't hide anything to the editor or any person, right? So if this is extension of the earlier work, clearly mention to the editor that this work you had already done, and in the present work you are doing this thing. So by this way you basically put yourself in front to the journal, in front to the editor, that you are a nice researcher, you are a genuine person, and you are really doing research. Avoid review articles in the early stage of research degree. What the basically trend is going on, that in the first 6 months or 8-9 months, early stage researchers try to write something on the basis of their survey, and when they summarize all these survey, they called it review article. No, this is not review article. The review articles are different. These are but survey based article. So don't try to check your text similarity on free web tools, right? What they do, they just contain your information into the repository, and that comes into the internet source. So don't try to check your any free web tools. This is an example of paraphrasing, because now time is going on. So now there are many things about to the predatory journal that I was thinking to share with you, but try to avoid those journals so which mention the impact factor 7, 6, 5. Their impact factor always remains in the range of 7, 5, 6. All right, and they mention that Thomson Reuters is the only agency they can provide the impact factor. Rest of the impact factors are not genuine. They are dubious. They are predatory journals. If a journal is writing international journal, as of all, you see the editorial board. If the editorial board members are more than 3/2 from different countries, then it will be a international journal. Together of it, see the research articles, how many articles have been written by the international authors. Only then journal will be international. If a journal is writing that the journal is international of that is not international journal, right? So there are some points related to the predatory journal, so you must be very careful about to that. And here I am thankful to all of you and especially the team of IMBSS to provide me this opportunity and to interact with you all. If you have any question, I will try to cover right now, and if not possible within the defined time, then you can write an email. You can directly to the organizer, then they can. Basically, I will try to solve that problem. So within the defined time, it is not possible to cover all the and all information. So thank you. And now for the questions, you are.
Thank you, sir. It was amazing. It was actually amazing.
Thank you, Neil sir.
I don't think so. We have a lot of time. We have already passed our time. So only anyone has some question, we can take 1 to 2 question actually.
Can I ask Dr. Anil?
Yes, yes.
Sure,
Hello.
sure.
Hello, sir.
Yes, sir.
So thank you so much for sharing the worthy knowledge on this topic, sir. My question is related to what is the simplest definition of the plagiarism, and what are the software available for the plagiarism? And let's suppose sometimes what I observe is if you check the plagiarism by using the software, let's suppose A, and it comes 10%. And the same content, when you use another software to check the content, sometimes the plagiarism, the similarity index can vary. It can goes up or it can goes down. So what do you say? What would like to comment on this, sir?
The first question is related to the definition of the plagiarism. That question I leave, sir, because I cannot define the plagiarism, but I can define that why the plagiarism software, because everybody knows the plagiarism. So if I will define, that becomes a definition of Dr. Sushil Kumar. So I don't want. So here I will provide the hint why you are observing different rate of the similarity index. So here the first thing, all the plagiarism software basically are connected with different database, and their authenticity depends on the databases. So if they are including Scopus, Web of Science, and your NIH and other like this kind of well-reputed indexing, if they are including their database, right? In addition to the search engine, every plagiarism software basically use the search engine and normal repositories basically. So they use, but the point comes when they use a specific database, then their outcome will be different. So if they are using Web of Science, right, then their outcome will be different. If Scopus and Web of Science, these are big data, and in addition to this one, your medical side data, that is also important. So so because of this reason, the output remains different. One software will tell different, and second will provide the different information. Third thing comes about to the when you fix the parameter of your software, how many words basically you had fixed. You had fixed less than 8 words, or you are including the references, you are including the quotation or not. There are some criteria by which basically software provide you information. So these are the points, and this is the answer of your second question and third.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. Anil sir, just unmute your mic. You were saying something.
Sorry.
You were saying something.
Okay, sorry. So we'll take one more question by Dr. Anand. It is very interesting question, sir. So is there any training program for becoming an editor, or it comes by practice?
Actually, there are some program related, some external agencies basically by which they interact, like we are member of COP, so they provide some forum where we interact with them. And like in this phase, I am the member, sponsored member, and now officially we are member of the EASE. So they organize the conference. So in that conference, all the editors and publishers get together, interact. They provide their information, and from their experiences and itself our own experiences, we learn the things. So as such, there are no any. But some publisher provide or some external agency basically provide a course, right? A kind of course by which basically one can get familiar the practice of the editor. So editor is the bridge in between the publisher and in between the authors.
Thanks a lot, sir. So actually, one question I would like to ask on behalf of audience. Sir, as an editor, I would like to know what all checks you have to do before taking the manuscript for review.
First of all, actually, we check the plagiarism, and then after I personally observe the article, and it is not, we always not, especially me, not dependent on the output of the software. So I personally observe the points that where the software highlighting the content. If that is in a piecewise form, I am giving one example. Suppose either me or you are associated in with a specific research area. So those research area words are fixed to specify the problem. So from where we can bring out the extra or new words, right? We have to explain everything with the with those words actually, but in our own language. What is the way to explain anything or a specific area? That is my own way. When you will explain that, your way will be totally different. But when we are trying to copy you and trying to put in my research article, that becomes the plagiarism. So this is the simple definition. So whatever we know, whatever I know, I have to put that information in my article. So by this way, we can avoid that similarity index, because my way to explain to anything is different. That way you cannot copy, right? Or no one can copy. So that is totally different. And your way of explanation or to express anything or writing, that will be totally different from any other. So we the people basically knowledge, those who are connected with the intellectual platform, they are just saying that you don't need to copy anyone. You just write in your own language by own understanding. There is no need to copy anyone else.
Thanks a lot, sir. So mainly plagiarism is the one thing which is most checked after.
Yeah. First of all, we check the similarity index, and manually I verify it. So if it is totally copy paste, then I immediately reject. And in one experience I have observed that together you can verify from the website of JNP that in the beginning there was no similarity index. Paper was pure, and we get it reviewed and it was published. But later at a certain stage, I got the information from a indexing agency that there are some article, there is an article basically, or give the hint. So I just evaluated the individual articles, and I get one article the similar article was published into the another journal. So this kind of situation, when you know about to the author and know about to the reputation of the author and retract the article at that particular stage, everything was copied. What they did, they just changed the scale of the graph, right? Instead of 0, they just started from the 10 and they cut the higher limit, right? This was the thing, and they just hide some systems, that means there were some nuclei, so they just hide, and instead of those they put something different, but everything was similar. So in medical sciences, in biosciences, what happens, methodology remains same. So how basically you can change the methodology into the next one? So in that case, you can either you are using some parameterization, or the way, if you had already published a similar article, so you can say that this kind of methodology has been discussed in the earlier article, so that approach is acceptable. But if you are writing as it is everything, or you are just changing the alpha, beta, xyz, so that is not the point. So everything basically should be in a new form with new shape.
Okay, thanks a lot. Poonam Joshi is asking, please give some reference material to read it in details. I think Poonam must check out the YouTube channel of Sir Dr. Sushil Kumar, and it is very informative. Isn't it, sir? Anything else apart from this? And even Sir is also active blogger. So, sir, can you share something about your website and YouTube channel? Hello.
Yes, sir.
Sir, were you able to listen to me, sir?
Yes, sir.
Sure. So, sir, can you share something about your YouTube channel and website also? I was checking out it; it was very amazing, actually. So,
If you will search Apni Physics, you will find everything about to me. You have to write only Apni Physics, and you will get every information about to me, that what I am doing, and every information. So this is the only key related to me.
sir, again, thanks a lot. And with this, we would like to conclude the session.
Yes.
Thank you all the participants, and and tomorrow is the last day, and we'll see you tomorrow at the same time. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you so much. Thank you, everyone.